There's a piece of the puzzle that I personally connect with, and the idea of being intentional. And I want to talk about this a little bit, Barnet, from your perspective, because I know you've worked with actors and you have a particular fondness for actors and their training specifically because they have this ability to sort of direct their experience and obviously explore creatively, but it has to do with intention. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah. When an actor is performing in a scene, what gives focus to an actor's performance is not what is said in the words in the script. It is what lurks in what we call the subtext underneath. It is the attitude, and the attitude is a direct result of what the actor's intention is. And if you switch the intention, the whole sense and meaning of what of an actor's behaviors and what he or she says changes. So if I say to you, "It's really a pleasure to be on this show," and I switch the intention to "I can't wait to get out of here,"
right?
And that's going to have a whole different. It's going to come across as a completely different performance. If it's good, you get the point.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant.
What is very, very powerful for people to realize is that each and every one of us, are doing this all of the time.
Right.
We all have an intention that is, for the most part, undiscovered, and we're not lucid in the moment as to what our intentions are. You are when you're in a rush to get to work and you're in traffic, and that frenzy that happens is the result of an intention to get there on time, which is in turn driven by a fear of repercussions and problems with bosses and missed opportunities. So all of that layering lies below the surface. But for the most part, we go through our days not aware of what the intentions are in our lives, in the way that actors are in their performances. And when we become aware, we discover that we are generally operating out of a very small pool, and it's the same pool, dare I say it once again, that we referred to in the second segment, that we're usually operating out of the very limited numbers of open programming that are on there, running on our laptop, that have been there for years and years and years, unexplored and unexamined, and we simply think that this is the way it is.
Yeah. No, I think
we can learn to change our intentions. And as you know, I always say, if you change your story, you change your life.
You know, that's very interesting. I'll tell you a little brief piece about when I was a stage actor, and when I made the transition to working in front of the screen, I had some challenges, and I had an acting teacher who told me, just think it. Stop acting it. Just think it. And it was a very powerful effect. And so one of the things, though, that I remember distinctly is he also said to me, if you have some conflict, that's what I want you to hold in your consciousness. In other words, often you talk in terms of the actor having a secret or something like that.
Yeah.
And in essence, I mean, it translates beautifully on the screen when there's sort of mixed messages. But what I think we don't realize in our actual day-to-day life is how often we're putting out mixed messages, right?
I think we're doing it pretty much 100% of the time.
Right.
The exception being when we slow down enough to look at what our intentions are and what our feelings are.
Yes.
And where our attention is, because attention follows intention.
Yeah, I love it. It's where we put our focus.
Yes.
And the power of having a single focus. I mean, this is what a lot of the abundance sort of principles are about. That if once we become clear, and my language is about what really feeds us, and we orient ourselves towards that. Now, one of the distinctions I'll say.
When you become clear, you become unstoppable.
That's right. That's right. But I'll say one thing, because this is a challenge. You know, the movie The Secret and a lot of the other sort of conversations that are going on, you know, we have this tripcord, which we often in this culture want to make it external. We want to make it about the result. And I think that's a trip. I think that's a place that a lot of people trip over, only because if we recognize the quality in the thing that we think we want, and we start to go for the quality all manner of potential outcome that we hadn't considered. We were sort of coming at it from that sort of culturally skewed or biased standpoint that it has to look a particular way. I mean, I think it's the quality that we want to focus towards that actually is fulfilling.
So true. I mean, we're in love with the form of things.
That's it.
And that's simply, again,
It's a distraction.
That has to do with the way we have been conditioned, as part of a culture that has been looking for satisfaction in the form of things outside. That is coming to an end now, and it's a very positive crisis. This is a crisis. This is a spiritual crisis that we're having, and what we're discovering, as you are pointing out, is that more than the form of things. As an artist, you and I both know that form follows function.
Right.
When you begin to look more closely and put your attention on the function that you want, what is the quality of experience that you want,
That's
what
right.
you want it to satisfy in yourself, that becomes the intention you're pursuing, and then the form is supplied. It shows up. It just precipitates in this dreamy time and space creation that is almost always beyond your wildest expectations.